So let's see, Leslie, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Good morning, Leslie Ortiz, FAR, Legal Affairs.
Arda Plana, Interim Associate Vice President of Finance.
Dr. Marilyn Delegro, Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Dana Foreign, Associate Vice President of Student Affairs and Marketing and Communications.
Tanika Jackson, Admissions Counselor, FFECC Counseling Union Rep, and City Maintenance Counseling Chair.
Patterson, Vice President of IREP.
John Reinholz, Associate Vice President of College Safety.
Barbara Piazza, Chief Ethics Officer, New York County. Lisa Powell Fortnon, Director of Talent Management and Employee Engagement. Edie Marshall, Dean of Continuing Education.
Dave Taylor, Assistant Vice President.
Lynn Krakowiak, President's Office.
Dr. Boney, Assistant to the President, Special Projects.
Brian Noble, IT.
Ken Crewley, trustee.
Richard Lipsitz, trustee.
Trina Burrs, trustee.
Jeff Stone, trustee.
I think it's a guy president.
That's
And Amanda.
Amanda.
I see on screen, hi Amanda, Bill Reuter. Hi Bill, good morning.
Hey, good morning, trustees. Happy holidays. Bill Reuter, Special Advisor to the one and only Dr. Sagai.
That's the way to start the morning. The one and only. Wow.
Who do I see online? Is that Jeff Switek? Or?
Yes. Yes.
Hi,
Yeah,
Jeff.
good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Jeff. Let's see, we are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Carrie's on her way.
Okay. We will have a quorum shortly, but in the meantime, I'll give you an idea of just how this morning's meeting will go. First of all, we're going to go into an executive session. I would describe today's meeting as being relatively brief but quite important. We will be taking a look at and being fully briefed on all the negotiations that have led up to the FFECC contract that is dangerously close to being finalized and has been in fact ratified by our faculty and is up for discussion and vote by the board today. So that will be the main focus of the executive session, along with any potential litigation that the president would bring up or related matters relating to personnel. After the executive session, we will come back and have a presentation by Barbara Piazza, who you heard introduced. Barbara is the excellent chief of the Chief Ethics Officer from the Erie County Department of Personnel. All of us, your newer trustees may not have dealt with Barbara yet, but you will, because as part of our job.
Because you know something that we're going to do that's unethical.
I don't mean it to sound that scary.
She seems so nice.
You know. Well, as a public body, of course, it's very important for us to always conduct ourselves with the highest degree of integrity and ethical behavior. And part of what Barbara's job description is to not only ensure that that happens, but also provide guidance and instruction to people who sit on public boards and other public officers. So toward that end, we all are making annual filings with Barbara's office that she reviews. If she has questions, she'll come back in a very thoughtful and candid way to talk to us and make sure that we're all understanding our obligations and reporting properly on them. But today, her role will be to brief us on what she exactly does and what her office does and what her expectations are and what our responsibilities are as members of a public board. Okay, so we'll be hearing that, and then we will go into our action items, which are relatively thin today. We did not meet last month, but we've had a lot of significant events happen in the last couple of months. We'll finalize our foundation agreement, and I mentioned the FFECC contract. We'll get an update on where we are with the AAECC, and we will take certain actions, including some very positive actions today. Grant agreement that we'll be talking about, for example. And then we'll have our reports, and we will adjourn for the holidays, meeting again in January with the trustees having a meeting and retreat in February as well. So with that, I think Dr. Sagai, I think I will start with my report as we gather our quorum and just await for the arrival of 6 trustees. Basically, my report is that the main focus since we last met has been on constantly consulting with Dr. Sagai and the negotiating team on the discussions with the FFECC leadership team on getting our contract with our faculty members agreed to. And that has been a very positive process. Both sides, I think, have negotiated in quite good faith, taking the advice that we talked about as a group last meeting, trying to advocate fiercely for what is important to you, but also seeking to see what virtue there may be in the position of those with whom you're negotiating, right? So that's an important thing that both sides, I think, have respected and honored as this has gone on. And it's resulted in a good result. We'll be hearing about that and carefully analyzing the financial impacts of that and exactly where we are in executive session. But then we will come out and we'll talk about it. So we'll know, people will know exactly what's going on with our contract with our faculty members, who are valued, obviously, members of our community. Hi, Carrie. I'm just giving my report and then we'll do our roll call.
Sounds good.
Okay. I always mention that we have, my monthly or weekly or daily meetings and calls with Dr. Sagai, and that has continued probably at a stronger pace than usual.
Yes.
with the discussions and the contract.
Even out of the country.
right. Well, talk from Hawaii or anywhere.
That's right. That's right.
I would like to mention now with the monthly meetings at the RAF building how valuable Ben Swanakamp has been. Ben is the Chief of Staff to County Executive Mark Poloncarz, and Mark has taken a very active role in supporting us, guiding us, counseling us on what he sees as the important priorities for the community college, funding opportunities, how to work with the county. He was here at our last meeting to help wish Len Lenahan well, our trustee who left us last meeting. He's been a very supportive person with the college and with Dr. Sagai and with me. And Ben has attended all those meetings. And I just want to mention Ben in particular because he's very constructive during those meetings, and he has been very practical in the way he attacks problems that are identified perhaps by the county executive or by us, or questions. Ben will often be the one who will go back and come up with something very constructive to help us move forward. And I just mention that because I think it's been reported publicly that Ben is headed for the city as a deputy mayor, and I just want to congratulate Ben. It's a terrific appointment by our newly elected mayor, Sean Ryan. There are other deputy mayors in play as well. I believe he has 4 total. But I feel good that Ben is in the mix over at the city with all his experience at the county and all of his experience with us. We have a lot of engagement with the city of Buffalo. We're a community college in Erie County, but Buffalo is the home of our city campus and the centerpiece of our community. So having Ben over in the mayor's office, and we all have relationships with the mayor himself, I think it's going to be very constructive and helpful for the college. And of course, Mark, I'm sure, will appoint an excellent chief of staff if he hasn't done so already. I haven't quite followed that, but we always have that great relationship with the existing county leadership. So congratulations to Ben. Dick, I wanted to say thank you for suggesting lunch. You and I got together for lunch. It was very constructive and helpful, and got to know each other even better than we had. And I look forward to doing the same with Trina, and just talking about exactly what goes on at the board, what are the things we've been wrestling with the last 3, 4 years, 5 years, so that the new trustees can hit the ground running. And we'll also be adding some new trustees very soon, and we'll go through the same process. So yeah, I would encourage everyone of us fellow trustees, to get to know Trina and Dick better if you don't already. I found it very valuable to get Dick's counsel on a few things, including our contract even, because he's certainly been a person who's been involved in a lot of labor negotiations. He took no direct role in these negotiations, but it was interesting to talk to him about the process and learn a little bit more about how to constructively negotiate. I'd like to mention the Foundation Gala on November 7th. That was a nice event occurred, and I know Dr. Sagai was there and I was there, and it was a nice event, and that's one of the signature events that the foundation organizes, along with their golf tournament and their Admiral's Room breakfast in the spring. Several other events, but I just wanted to congratulate the foundation on having achieved a good event at their gala on November 7th. A quick mention, since we last met, Veterans Day occurred, and those of you who have gone to our graduation know that we have a number of college students here, and even some faculty members who are either veterans or are actively serving in the armed forces, and I just wanted to say, acknowledge their service and thank them, and point out that, Veterans Day has occurred recently, and they deserve our thanks and our appreciation. Speaking of thanks, of course, Thanksgiving occurred also since our last meeting. I hope you all had a good holiday, and I'm very thankful for my fellow board members here, for the people in this room, and for everyone in our college community who's really working quite hard to give our students an excellent situation and experience here at Erie Community College. Dr. Sky, you'll be talking about certain personnel moves.
Yes, I will.
And I'll join in on that later. And lastly, on my report, I believe the foundation board met and ratified our contract. It had already been signed. They had the executive power to sign our contract. And I again would like to thank Mark Gollin, chair over there, and Jay, and some folks who really helped, Jay Kincaid and Fred, who helped a lot, along with Jeff Switek, who's here, to get that contract understood and, I think greatly focused upon, clarified, and refined in a very positive way that will help our relationship going forward between the college and the foundation, which is a very constructive one. But this contract will be a roadmap for all of us, and it'll be very helpful for both the foundation and for us. So I'm glad to have that taken care of. I will stop there and ask Carrie, please, our secretary, to call the roll so we can declare a quorum and start the meeting.
Jeffrey Stone,
Here.
Melody Baker.
Is Melody on the line?
She's
She's probably gonna join us around 9:30.
9:30? Okay.
Okay.
She's not on the.
Carrie Phillips here. Trina Burris.
Present.
Ken Crewley.
Here.
Richard Lipsitz. Amanda Lau.
Here.
Candace Morrison. She's not online, is she? No.
She's out.
Oh, okay. And Igor Suarez Pinheiro is also out.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so a quorum being present, I'll declare the formal part of the meeting open and call it to order, and ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting on October 30th. They've been circulated, I've reviewed them. No comments from me. Anyone else have comments? If not, then a motion to approve our minutes. Thank you. Trina, seconded by Ken. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, and thank you as always to those who take our minutes. They're very good. Now we will go into an executive session, as I mentioned. The main focus will be the discussion of the FFECC contract. I don't expect to take formal action on that because we're going to come out of executive session and vote on it. But we will be discussing it and just prepping, and as I mentioned, we will not keep things a secret. We'll be talking about that contract when we come out, all right? Okay. So, and I don't expect it to be a terribly long executive session. We're in good shape with that contract, and I'm interested in just making sure that all the trustees hear directly from the negotiating team. So, a motion to go into executive session, please. Thanks, Dick. Second. Carrie. All in favor? Aye. Thank you all. We'll be back as soon as we can, all right? I would like to announce that we are out of executive session and back in public session. And the subject of our executive session is primarily a briefing on the negotiated contract that we have with our bargaining unit, the FFECC, whose leader is Andy Sacco at our table with us. And we received a good, thorough briefing on the progression of the negotiations over time, the involvement of the county, the terms of the agreement, the financial and non-financial terms of the agreement, the fact that the faculty has ratified the contract, and we are prepared to vote on it. But before we do, we wanted to ask President Sagai and Andy Sacco if he's willing to speak about the process and the outcome, and we will take a vote at the conclusion of those remarks. So Dr. Sagai, will you please start?
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Trustee Stone. I'm happy to say that we are able to present our new contract to the board. It was a year and a half almost effort to really put this contract together. I think just some of the things to highlight, and I'll ask Andy to speak to it as well, is that we really focus on our strategic planning, mainly focusing on student success being the pillar of our conversation, but also equally focusing on the commitment of certainly myself and the board to make sure that our faculty and staff are invested in. So we put a lot of work into that. It was something that that was needed and important for the college to do, so I'm happy to say that we were able to do this. Again, everything that we put and everything that we talked about is how does it affect our students and how is it going to affect our college. The other piece that we really focus on is one of the foundational principle of our strategic plan is institutional sustainability. I'm happy to also say that the college has been very mindful about ensuring that we are very careful about our finance and making sure that we're thoughtful about how we invest our finance. And so we were able to do that, and as a result, we have the appropriate funding to be able to fund this new contract with our faculty. So I'm happy to report that we are presenting that to the board.
Very good. And Andy, thank you for always being a good faith partner in these negotiations, representing your members with a thoughtful approach and aggressively at times. And but always at the core of it, I think keeping our student experience in mind. And we appreciate that you were the partner to our college's negotiating team. They're leading your bargaining unit. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you, trustees, for having the wherewithal to put this contract together with the president. This is a contract that I think will go a long way towards changing, helping with morale after many years of issues that we've had, which I won't get into. I think that it's a fair contract. 94% of my members approve this contract. There's some progressive things in there that I think will be helpful to the college and to us with regard to enrollment. We also believe that it'll help with bringing new faculty on board with the increase of salaries, because we've always been at the low point of salaries across the state. I do think that future contracts, I would hope that we in the future would be able to not have a long time between contracts. I think that would be helpful in the future so that we don't have to talk about back pay and things like that. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I appreciate the college and the negotiations team and Jeff Swiatek working with us to get this over the goal line. And I'd like to also have to mention our team, Dr. Angela Crocker, Dr. Jackie Bollinger, Professor Jason Janisevitz, and all of us really,
Angela, right?
and yes, I mentioned her.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I was just trying to remember who's on the team. And also Elizabeth Vigno from New York State United Teachers, who was a true professional. Unfortunately, she's going to be retiring in 3 days, but she helped us get that over the edge. And New York State United Teachers and the Faculty Federation, thank you, and my members.
I'd like to also mention the county as a significant partner to our community college. County executive and his staff took an important role in monitoring the negotiations, supporting the negotiations, adding in financial resources to help us cover those years that Andy referred to between contracts. I don't want to speak for future boards, but certainly would be my and our intention that in 2029, in the year prior to this expiration, we get some serious negotiations going so we don't have that gap that you talked about.
Yes.
And I think having it be a 5-year, we'll be ready at that time to do some serious discussions about where we go next with the contract. But for now, Dr. Scott, I don't know if you wanted to say anything further about the specifics of the contract and what the college was hoping to achieve, what the faculty members were hoping to achieve, and so forth. Normally, we just didn't want to come out and sign the contract after we'd been fully briefed on it, because it's a matter of importance to everyone in this room, everyone in the community. So some degree of detail, I think, is appropriate here in public session.
Absolutely. So just to add to some of the things that Andy talked about, I think retention and enrollment was a big piece. And so we do have that. I would like to say that's probably one in the community college, particularly public community college, that we have embedded in there to that. And that didn't just happen by accident. This is something that our faculty and staff and the college has been talking and making sure that we have the right data. I know as a college we struggle for having accurate data, working with our faculty and staff and with our team from the data side of the college has been very thoughtful about that and making sure that we create awareness at the college and making sure that retention and enrollment is everyone's responsibility, and to make sure that not only do we get our students at the college, but to get them to the finish line and beyond. So that is one of the things that's embedded within this contract. The other thing is, how do we continue? Our faculty and staff does a great job of building relationship with students, but how do we do it more with our students being so diverse and wanting services and activities in various ways? How do we do that very intentionally? So we embedded office hours, particularly for our adjunct faculty, as they are a huge part of the college. We also embedded an opportunity for our adjunct to participate in our in-services, where in the past we have not done that. To Andy's point, we did try as best as possible, considering the college's finance status, to make sure that we were appropriately compensating our adjunct, but also new individuals that come to the college, but also respecting those individuals who serve the college for a long time, Andy and others at the college who have committed their livelihood to the college and to our students. So we were mindful, but at the same time, really making sure that we are able to ensure that the college is self-sufficient. Financially, we've been in a very difficult situation. When I came at the college, I'm happy to say that the college is able to stabilize itself and continue to do that. But the way to do that is really over and over again is student engagement and making sure that we have outcome. And I think the other piece that I talked about, and I'll talk a little bit more on that, is the idea of investing in our faculty and staff. We cannot have successful students unless we invest in our faculty and staff. And that is something that I know with Andy and team, we spend a lot of time talking about how do we do that and how do we build the trust, because to Andy's point about the morale, part of the morale was the mistrust of what has happened over time. And this is not to point anything at anyone, but there is a factual reality that people felt and continues to, and we are, and Lisa will talk about some of the good things that we're doing to start showing that the college appreciate what our faculty staff continue to do for our students, but how do we do that and make sure that we are mindful of that? So one of the ways that we embedded in this contract is to ensure that we're investing in our faculty and staff by a way of creating a professional development that will enhance the experience of our students back to the classroom, but really doing that in a very thoughtful way. And that was one of the things I think was very important for all of us. The question was, how do we get that done so that it's perceived and really believed that this was with the intention to make sure that our faculty and staff are valued for the college. Again, we cannot have the experience that we want our students to have unless we equipped our faculty and staff, starting from really our board to the leadership of the college to our faculty and staff, to make sure that we're equipped to make sure that our students are given the best service both in and outside the classroom.
Andy, would you like to add anything from your perspective?
I think several things that, having a feedback system where faculty discuss improvements and things that they can do better in their classroom is a positive, and I think it'll be helpful to not only the faculty but the students. One of the things that I think was huge in dealing with the salary schedule was to take less time to get to the top. It took me 34 years to get to the top step. We're now going to be able to hire people and they can get there in 22 years, which is more reasonable. You know, that's a huge thing for somebody that's coming in, that's a new employee, and I think that that was recognized by the college, and I think that that was one of the big aspects of this, as well as I forgot to thank the county executive, and I also forgot a team member, Joan Bukowski. So I just wanted to mention that because I know that they're probably watching, so I certainly want to make sure that I spoke of them. So.
Well, thanks, Andy. You know, as far as the economics of this, we had the money from the county, $2.5 million, that covered the years, some of the gap years, except for one, that we had between contracts, and that was very helpful in terms of getting us to a starting point from which we could work. And then this 5-year contract is covering the year we're in right now, plus the coming 4 years. Its expiration date will be 12/31/29, so that's why I mentioned in 2029, we'll endeavor to have a seamless progression into a new contract in 2030. But between now and then, the economic impact of this contract compared to our status quo, and again over a 5-year period, is about north of $22 million.
Yes.
And as you, many of you are aware, the college, you know, has gone through its worst financial times and been operating, I think, quite carefully and with an idea that we are in negotiations we're a $90 million a year organization, almost $100 million at times, and most of our costs are in personnel. So it's not surprising that we have a fairly big nut when it comes to paying our faculty, and that's fine and that's appropriate and that's what we're doing. So we've had money ready for this, and that's the money on which we're going to draw to some extent, and then we'll hopefully our state partners and county partners will continue to be the supportive colleagues that they've been to us, which will help us and minimize the draw on our saved assets. So, I'd like at this time to give the other trustees any opportunity to comment, and then we will take our vote. You want to start our budget chair, Ken Crewley?
I think it's a great deal. Compliments to Dr. Sagai and the whole team here, and to Andy, negotiating in good faith, moving it along. It's all good.
Very good. Trina, one of our newer trustees.
Thank you.
You just missed all the show.
Thank you, Chair. Timing's everything. You know, I think as a trustee, what I appreciate is when Andy gave the percentage of agreement. To hear that at 94% is significant, and I think it shows that there's a shared and a common goal between both the President's office, the union team, as well as the faculty. And so I think that is critically important. And certainly when you have that level of agreement around investment for the benefit of the student and investment for the benefit of the faculty and staff, everyone benefits, including the county as a whole. So it goes well beyond just the ECC community, and so I appreciate that and happy to see it.
You certainly represent that at United Way. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you.
Carrie, what were your thoughts?
Well, I'm impressed with both the work that was done to get here as well as the work product, and I think everybody who worked on it, the process itself sounds like it was very respectful and transparent, which is very important. The product, you can see that it's in line with our strategic plan, which is also important. The promotion of student success was throughout the process, and you can see it reflected in the product. I think it's also very important that we showed an investment in our talented faculty, and we did it in a fiscally responsible way. So I'm happy with the product. Thank you, everybody.
And Vice Chair, thanks, Carrie. Vice Chair Melody Baker, you normally sit right here, so it's your turn.
Fantastic. We did it. This is incredible. Like I miss one meeting, come back, and everything is fixed, and so I'm absolutely thrilled. Thrilled with it.
We won't draw any conclusion about that.
It's good to see you, Trina. It's good to see the new board members. Absolutely, just thrilled that we've gotten here. It's been a long time coming. thrilled that it's aligned with the strategic plan. Just really excited that this is a huge milestone, and you know, it's really a reflection of the leadership of the college, and just thrilled to have been able to be a part of it.
Thanks, Mel. Just one thing that I would add that maybe hasn't quite gotten a bit of spotlight here is I appreciate our faculty members working with us to transform the college from a situation where we have 3 isolated island campuses to a much more of a one college whole, blessed by SUNY as one college, less triplication, more of a sense that we are a united college community, and the contract, it's not easy to take a contract that's sort of based for many decades on 3 separate independent locations, all functioning almost without regard to the others, and have it be more tied in and unified. That's tougher to negotiate that than it is to just decide how much the raise should be or what the step increases should be. So I think it was a particularly difficult contract, and that's why I think the team that worked on this really ought to be commended. Amanda, your thought?
Well, I agree with that. I want to, again, not being at the table, but receiving the feedback from the negotiations, I was so pleasantly, I was so happy to hear about these professional conversations, these thoughtful conversations. There was discussion, and then all sides of the table, Dr. Sagai's team and Andy's team come together to align on this contract and in the best interests of our faculty and our students. So I'm very, very happy to hear this, to support this, and to Andy's point, we got to get it calendared, right? 2029. Got to go on the calendar now, because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen.
Right.
So.
Just like at home. Thanks, Amanda. Dick, your thoughts? I know you've got a lot of experience with negotiations in your life.
Well, yeah, a good labor agreement generally can be judged by both parties walking away a little disappointed. So when you have both parties accepting it unanimously, this 95% is almost unanimous, and I'm anticipating a positive vote from the Board of Trustees, a unanimous vote there. It's more than just a good labor agreement, it's an excellent one. In taking into consideration questions of public money, the importance that the ECC plays in the educational system in Western New York, the concern of everybody for proper use and spending of that public money. This is not a private college. You can't just raise things out of, it's not, you're not selling widgets. You're using public money, which is only comes from one source, which is ordinary people through their taxes. And when this kind of thing takes place, it should be celebrated and publicized, because it can happen. It's not like we can't agree on things.
Right.
So congratulations to both parties.
Thank you, Dick. If everyone's ready, I think I'll read our resolution. Any other comments before I do so, and we'll take our vote. All set? So this is, because given its importance, I'm going to just make sure we all understand this language. So this resolution is regarding the tentative agreement between the Faculty Federation of Erie Community College and SUNY Erie, December 18th, 2025. Whereas the faculty and the non-teaching professionals at SUNY Erie are represented by the Faculty Federation of Erie Community College, and whereas the members of the FFECC provide important and essential services to ECC students, and whereas the last collective bargaining agreement between the FFECC and the college expired on August 31st, 2020, and the parties have been in negotiations over the past 2 years, and whereas the FFECC and the ECC negotiating team signed a proposed tentative agreement covering the years September 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2029, and whereas the FFECC ratified the tentative agreement and proposed successor agreement on or about December 11th, 2025, and whereas the Board of Trustees would like to approve the successor agreement between FFECC and ECC SUNY Erie for the years 2020 through 2029, and whereas SUNY Erie has adequate funds available in its fund balance to meet the financial needs that will be incurred by the successor agreement, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees for SUNY Erie hereby approves the tentative agreement between the FFECC and the college, and be it further resolved that the President and her staff are hereby directed to take the appropriate steps to implement the terms and conditions of the successor agreement. I will look at our budget chair, Mr. Crewley, for that motion, if I may.
So moved.
Second. And a second? Thank you, Carrie. All in favor of the motion as read?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? We have a contract. Thank you.
On behalf of my members, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I'm glad you could be here with us today. That's great.
Thank you, Melody.
So, of course, that was our most significant business item just since we appointed Dr. Sagai. So it was an important meeting and morning. Thanks again, Andy.
Thank you.
We're going to now take some other actions, one or two of which are extremely positive, so to complete the meeting. We're out of executive session, and we have board action out of the Budget, Audit, and Facilities Chair Ken Cooley. We have two items.
Yes, and I'm going to pretty much turn this over to Dr. Sagai and the staff. The All Within Hands program is excellent opportunity for us to do training. And the Grand River solution is to help us run better. That's my end to that.
Yes.
I'll let Dr. Sagai and others.
And we discussed these thoroughly at Budget a week or two ago.
So for the All Within My Hands grant, they are donating $250,000 to the college to be used for skilled trades, students who are in skilled trades. So some of it will go in the form of a stipend to students, and then some of it will go towards marketing.
I will just add a few things about this. Katie, thank you for your role in securing this grant, and I know that the foundation played a very fundamental role here. Our foundation, you heard me mention our contract with the foundation. And I would like to mention in particular Jenna Bickler,
Yes.
who reached out. Believe it or not, this group that is giving us $250,000 toward workforce development, training, and direct student assistance it's the foundation of the band Metallica out of California. Now that seems odd, but they have devoted their foundation to workforce development and empowerment of students in local communities. I went on Wikipedia today and read about it, and it's exciting. And and actually, you may not believe this given my age, but I listened to some serious Metallica on the way to this meeting.
No, we don't believe it.
I did.
On the way to this meeting?
Yes, I did. Enter Sandman. I was listening to it. And I did it out of appreciation for the band Metallica, because they are the ones behind the money. They have this foundation, and then they call it the All Within My Hands, and then Carhartt is involved as well.
Yeah,
Katie,
Carhartt
right?
is providing funding through their foundation.
And that's the uniform and clothing maker.
Yes, it is, and that's why they're focused on the skilled trades. That's actually
So we might not, All Within My Hands might not mean much to us, but Metallica and Carhartt are what's behind this grant, which I think is very cool. And we didn't even have to necessarily apply for this. They more or less came to us. And then we jumped through the appropriate hoops, and Jenna had a significant role because she had a contact, I think, or something. So here we are, $250,000 to the good, and potential to do future funding through this source.
Yep.
Anything else, Katie?
Nothing to add.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I imagine this is about one of the easiest votes we can possibly take, right? But let's hear about Grand River Solutions and then vote on both of them.
So, with all due respect, trustee, Metallica's one is like the best.
Okay.
So Grand River Solutions is a company that will be assisting the HR department with regard to employee investigations. We have a Title VI coordinator at the college, a Title IX coordinator. They will be assisting us with handling complaints that come in and investigating them appropriately, and assisting with employee relations with respect to such complaints.
Very well. Thank you, Leslie. And we talked again about this at Budget quite a bit in terms of, this takes burden off the department and expedites the handling of particular complaints in some of these federally regulated areas where timing, lack of immediate response can lead to frustration, sometimes litigation. And the idea here is we've been working with this company, and we want to keep that process flowing in a way that has less exposure for the college. So Any questions on either of the things that we're going to vote on? Okay. In that case, I'll ask for a resolution to approve both items 1 and 2 under subsection 3 of our agenda as described and as described in our materials.
So moved.
Oh, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Rena? Okay. All in favor on both items?
Aye.
Any opposed? Both are adopted. Thank you very much. Those are our action items, so I know we may lose a trustee or two somewhere along the line, but we'll have reports for everybody with our informational items, which I expect will go rather quickly this month. Ken?
Facilities.
Ethics, I'm sorry about that. I would like, let's quickly move through before we lose trustees. And before the reports, we'll do the informational items before you and I report.
Facilities reports. James, you want to just update us on the projects that you've been supervising?
Yeah.
For the last time?
Yeah.
Hey, and James, before you sit down, I expressed uncertainty about who is going to be the chief of staff of the county executive board. I no longer have to. That's going to be you, and congratulations.
Well, thank you.
It's just
I
a
appreciate
fantastic
it.
role for you and a great hire by County Executive Poloncarz.
I appreciate it, and thank you all for taking a chance on me. I'm not gonna look at Dr. Sagai because we don't need that scene right now. But
Okay.
That's like my mom right there. So
I love it.
I'm proud of her for all the work that she's done. Obviously, all the team, and this was a big day for the college, for the faculty, but for her. I mean.
And James, you've made such an impact here with your work on our facilities and just everything that Dr. Sagai needed a special, helpful, and very good hand on. You just pitched in immediately. I know it's going to be great to have a friend like you in the Rath building on the 16th floor. And with Ben over at City Hall, with whom you have a great relationship, I just feel great about the way our college is positioned to, have concerns that we have or things that we'd like to comment on be heard. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all of you. So facilities, we had a very ambitious capital project season where we had over $30 million in active capital projects going throughout the campus. Obviously, the most visible one being the sports field, which we have more money coming in to design and continue building out there. Some exciting opportunities. I think I won't say anything yet about that, but a lot of work has been done. It's been pretty invasive. The faculty have been great. They really received me well because most of my updates to them at Senate were not really great, right? You're not going to have heat today. But go figure it out. I don't know, but so it's been great. I think we're really kind of moving forward the master plan. SUNY's very involved and invested with us. Actually, Will Schwartz is coming up next week. I'm going to take him through City Campus. The only noteworthy thing about City Campus is while the project is going to look beautiful, and if you watch one of the news outlets every morning, they do a visual shot, and you can see. Is it two? Is it two? Okay. They do a visual shot of the skylight, and it is stunning. But you won't be able to see it until next fall. Our schedule kind of got bumped back again because the weather hit early, and it wasn't really great for them to be working up on the roof. So that schedule's just pushed back. But I think that's all I'll say about the facilities. State of facilities is strong.
Yeah, they really are, in no small part thanks to your work in the last couple of years. And the fields look great. I can't wait to see the stadium in action.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Good deal.
Yeah. Thanks, James, and best wishes in
Thank
the
you.
Rath building.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Second item, the suppliers report. Nothing unusual was included in everybody's packet. I'll move to the next ones, the budget items. Arda?
Good morning, and thank you for having me here today.
Good morning.
Just want to congratulate the entire college on this big achievement with the FFECC agreement. I know everyone worked hard on it. I am proud of where we stand today, both fiscally long term, enrollment is always in the back of my mind. However, we are seeing a trend on a positive way. Enrollment has been up in the fiscal year 24-25. As far as credit hours, that's been up 6%, and that is continuing in the 25-26 budget cycle as well. Tomorrow we actually present the 25-26 fiscal year to the Erie County Fiscal Stability Authority, also known as the Control Board. We have good news, to share. We have come so far, especially the last 5 years since COVID. We have right-sized the college. We have realigned programs. We have invested in students as well as their spaces. For example, the South location, technology software, onboarding, scheduling. We are working to continuously to assess the staffing, as that is our biggest expense to the college. I know right now our ratio, student to faculty ratio is to staff, faculty and staff is actually consistent. It's a healthy one. We are continuing to monitor all that's coming our way. What else do I have from here? Oh, from a state level, yesterday we received the email that the SUNY Board of Trustees has took action to approve the 26-27 operating and capital requests. Just a brief top level, and I know we're going to discuss this more at our next Budget and Audit Committee meeting. They did thank Governor Hochul, the state and the assembly, for recognizing the investments that they have done for the past 3 years. They've invested over $400 million. They've also indicated that they have seen a growth in enrollment for the past 3 years across New York State. They are maintaining the funding floor for community colleges. They did mention that they want to maintain affordability for students with tuition freezes. In addition, they also mentioned $8 million to expand the high demand workforce, our SUNY Reconnect program that we currently have in place, invest in ASAP, ACE programs, EOP, childcare. They have a lot of initiatives coming our way, and as well as boost capital improvements. So those are just some brief highlights. And I do want to thank the state and the county, because they do actually support Erie Community College at a much greater length than I think we recognize. And the relationship that we have, the relationship and the trust we have built with them over time goes a lot with Dr. Tsegai and James, whom I'm going to miss his humor. So that's about it. What did you say? Like facilities is as standing point strong, and so is finance.
Thanks, Sarah.
Off we roll.
Thank you.
Hope you don't mind us spending some of your money today.
As far as that, I do think long-term sustainability and enrollment and the funding is something in the back burner that is constantly needs to be assessed and monitored, but I'm hopeful that we will continue to assess and reassess and work on the strategic plan that we have in place and execute all the things that we are hopefully mentioned into our goals. So.
Well, always back to enrollment and retention, and the contract now talks about that. Thanks very much.
Are there any comments on the labor management health while you're sitting at the table?
No, just for fiscal year 24-25, we did see a much higher expense line than what I was anticipating for the year. So.
Which is not unusual in the community these days, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we keep an eye on that each month.
And the only other things we had were the minutes of our committee meeting.
Yep. Thanks, Ken. I don't know that, do we have anything on the OLB?
Sure, I do. It's on page 29.
Informational,
Yep,
page 29.
it's really speaking to the whole notion about enrollment and the importance of partnership. This is another partnership that we have specifically to work with adult learner to make sure that we have the strong relationships so that those individuals who go to the program are able to come to the college. So just information.
Just continuing that.
Yes.
On marketing, as with, we're in a state of transition here with 2 new trustees and a couple more coming that we will have to sort out in January and at the latest by our retreat exactly who is chairing what committees. We already have some preliminary ideas and have spoken to some people. For now, though, we don't have a marketing report. And I think Melody may have left us. Mel, are you still there? You are. I don't think anything was in policy
Yes,
and
I am
governance.
still here. I was just texting Gail because I do need to run. I'm about 4 minutes late to my next meeting.
But we don't have anything out of policy and governance, today.
No,
Right.
no, we do not.
Okay, all righty. And then, Carrie, strategic planning, I don't know that anything's coming out of there
we
lately.
need to have a meeting. I'm gonna talk to Gail, Gail's not here
All right.
today, we'll have a meeting for strategic planning and for
And for-
technology in
after the
January,
holidays.
and then we'll just have an update on the status of our strategic plan, which is being worked on right now, and as well as we'll get in, like a workday update, because we haven't
Yeah.
had one in a while.
And certainly the contract that we've just finished talking so much about is aligned with that.
Yes.
So, we're about to go to Barbara for our briefing, but yes, and before we ask Dr. Sagai for her report to end the meeting. So,
Jeff.
Amanda. Oh, sorry, Amanda, you've got just your minutes?
Just, yeah, we have our minutes posted there. Normally we have our monthly transaction reports from
Right.
Workday, but we're in the process of reviewing how we're gonna be reporting out on that in the future, so.
Then
Okay.
This is what we want to do with James.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, and so Dr. Sagai is gonna take it away.
Yeah, thank you. So as you heard, James is leaving the college, but not really leaving the college because we will be, as you know, working with the county. But we thought we'd present you something, James, for your time with the college directly. And so I would like, on behalf of the college, to present this to you.
Here's where we have the scene. So nice.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Take pictures?
Oh, man. Yeah, do it quick.
Thank you.
James is gonna cry.
Yeah, no. My father would not approve.
Mom would approve, though.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and thanks for the engagement on the contract. That's really important, along with hiring our president, obviously. I gave my report, but let's go now to Barbara Piazza. If I can ask you to join us at the table and brief us on our ethical responsibilities. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Sounds like I'm attending a very fruitful morning.
Yes.
You know. And I have to say, I know you're all going to be missing James. I'm happy I'm going to be seeing him a little bit. James was probably one of the first individuals that I had a meeting with, a few years back when I first assumed this role. So thank you. Looking forward to having more conversations.
Hopefully good conversation.
Hopefully good. We want to make it all good, right?
Did you have to meet with him specifically because of ethical concerns?
I'll tell you why I met with him, because as part of this initiative, I've been working with the county as their chief ethics officer for the last several years. And what I do essentially, and the reason I'm here is just to share some information about my role, who I work with, and what they do. And most importantly, why am I here talking to you?
Yeah.
Essentially, I work with the Erie County Board of Ethics. I help implement their objectives and policies. I'm not a board member. I want to make sure there's a distinction. But I attend all the meetings and I work with them to kind of foster the different things and objectives that they have for the upcoming months in the year. The Board of Ethics, as most of you are very familiar with, is a group of nonpartisan volunteers that get together every month in an open forum, and they discuss different issues and concerns that fall under the jurisdiction of the Code of Ethics. So, as you can imagine, there's a number of different things that they have to address routinely. Complaints, they give advisory opinions, they make sure FOIL requests are responded to. And one of the big things that they take care of every year is reviewing financial reports, okay? All of you that sit around this table are well accustomed to that you have to submit financial disclosure forms. When I first came on, in addition to all these other objectives that they have, one of the objectives was, we've always wanted to have someone in a role that could help with training and advocacy. And we talked about what is the essence of the board, what is their function, why is it there, why are they there? To ensure that people are acting ethically, that we have trust in our government. And so we talked about how do we help meet these objectives? and true fan of education. I will say that, you know, education is key, right? I said, if we really want government to be accountable, if we really want it to be transparent, we have to make sure people understand the perimeters of what they can and cannot do. And not in any perfunctory kind of way, but really in a substantial kind of way, so they really understand the do's and the don'ts. So towards that end, I worked with the board to set up a training program. We started first with the employees. And I'm really proud of the county and of the Board of Ethics for what they've achieved in doing this. What we have accomplished is we start with new employees when they come in. At every new orientation, I address them. And my whole purpose in addressing them at that time is really threefold. I want to make sure that, one, they understand there is a code of ethics, two, that it applies to them, and three, there's a Board of Ethics that they need help, they can seek out information. Again, to make sure that they really understand what's involved with the perimeters of what they can and cannot do. Towards that end, I always start with a discussion about what is ethics, because the reality is it means different things to different people when they hear that word, right? And there's a huge distinction between personal and professional ethics. Personal ethics is what guides your everyday decisions, your sense of right and wrong. It's, you know, developed by your upbringing and maybe your religion, maybe by some community. And it holds a lot of the same characteristics, of course, as professional ethics: trust, accountability, transparency. But professional ethics is much different. When we're talking about professional ethics, of course, we're talking about, you know, what's required of you, not your discretion. Personal ethics, you're making decisions every day about what deems right and wrong for you. Professional ethics is actually helpful. It's directed by a code or a policy that's a template for what you can and cannot do. It's actually easier, right? You could look to this for guidance to make sure that people understand that when we're talking about professional ethics, government, business, associations, you can look to these policies or codes and want to make sure that everybody understands that. And if you work for Erie County, or if you serve Erie County, that falls under the purview of the Erie County Code of Ethics. So that's really what we want to instill with the employees, what we want to instill with boards, want to make sure that they understand. And I think it's really important to always come back to the basics. Why? Why do we implement this? Why is this so important? Because as public servants, you're held to a higher scrutiny in many regards than those in the private sector, because you are serving the public. And it's all about maintaining trust in government and fostering that. The reality is, all of you that sit around this board, you know, you have other commitments, other jobs, other interests. And just like with the employees, we want to make sure that when we come to the table, that none of those other interests compromise what your obligation is here, whether an employee or board, et cetera. That's really what it's all about. And I always tell people the Code of Ethics really doesn't require a lot of you. There's only a couple of requirements in that Code of Ethics. It's one, that you fill out a financial disclosure form every May and submit it. And two, that if you feel that there is a conflict of interest, that it's something that you have to report. Now, I promise you, this isn't going to be a lecture on the Code of Ethics itself. But I will say this. The Code of Ethics, it's not dancing material, right? It's not something that an employee or somebody's going to want to pick up and read and whatever. It is all about, to the doctor's point, it's all about engagement. It's all about engagement. So again, I'm very proud of the county because they've been really receptive to the board taking different initiatives to raise awareness, to help make sure that people are aware of the ethics code, to make sure that they're comfortable, more comfortable with ethics. Too often, ethics is often associated with very negative things. We don't want that. I'll share with you, last year I was at a conference and somebody had raised a question about, clearly had to do with some kind of conflict of interest. It was a nepotism issue. And they raised their hand and the response was, you know, the question was, what do we do about all this? And I remember at that point I raised my hand. I said, well, why don't you look at the Code of Ethics? That's where you should start at, your Code of Ethics. And somebody responded, Code of Ethics? I hate when they use that Code of Ethics as a weapon all the time. And I thought, wait a minute, I can't let that stop, right? So I went back and said, no, you can't keep looking at it as a weapon, as if we're trying to get somebody's hand caught in the cookie jar. Look at it as a tool. Look at it as a tool to help guide people through questions that they may have about certain behaviors that are acceptable or not acceptable. So I'm here today because many of you, and I have to say, I'm familiar with the names. It's nice to finally see faces that are associated with these names, to let you know that if you do have questions, if you do have issues, you're welcome to contact me. And I have to give a caveat with regard to all that. If you contact me, I may not give you an immediate answer, even if I truly believe I know it. I won't give legal advice. I'm a lawyer, but I won't give legal advice because that charge is left to the county attorney's office solely. And because I'm under the housing of the personnel, while I'll confer with them all the time on issues, I won't punctuate anything because it's not my place to do so. But I do welcome you to contact me, and I will make sure that it's facilitated. I will get in touch with whoever needs to respond to you and get your answer back to you. It might not happen tomorrow. The board doesn't meet every day. They meet once a month. So there's some parameters about that as well. But I want it to be the kind of thing that people are comfortable contacting me, comfortable contacting the board, because the whole idea is to, again, kind of embrace ethics without fear of it. It's not an easy thing to pick up the phone and call somebody, especially if you're new to a certain position with the county or the boards, and say, you know what, I'm not sure I'm doing what I should be doing, or this could be a problem. I'm sensitive to that. It's not an easy phone call to make. It's not an easy email to send. But it's so much easier than finding out that maybe you're not in compliance if you pursued this. Let's figure it out first. Let's see where we go and figure it all out. One thing I do want to leave you with in terms of your obligations, in terms of submitting that financial disclosure form. Anybody who serves or works for the county, whether compensatory or not, you're required to fill out this form. Depending on your position, if you're an employee, it may be a shorter form. Most of all of you, it's a longer form that you have to submit all the time. That's required for any year that you served.
Right.
And what happens, unfortunately, is sometimes people will leave boards, they leave positions, and they think they're leaving all those obligations. If you served or worked for any part of 2025, you're obligated to submit that financial affidavit the following May.
Right.
And that's something that's really, really important for people to understand why. Because if you're responsible for submitting that report, that means we have to know where to reach you when we send out those notices in May. So if you've moved away, you've gone to Florida, you're retired, you're no longer on the board, you're no longer for the county, we still need to know how to get in touch with you to make sure that we're corresponding with you about that obligation. And I have had a number of people who have said to me, I didn't know that, and had I known. So again, we're trying to embark on this notion of getting the word out there a little bit to encourage people to really take a moment to appreciate what their responsibilities are, to make sure that nothing goes astray. So again, a lot of nice initiatives I think that the county is doing right now, trying to bridge that gap with engagement, making people more comfortable with these kind of conversations, and at a time I think when it's really needed. We want to make sure that we're able to talk a little bit more freely about different things and have trust in the people that serve us. So I encourage all of you, we have up on our Erie County Board of Ethics website, we have an hour-long presentation that we had prepared primarily for employees, but it's certainly applicable to most, that talks about the do's and the don'ts, what you have to do, what you can't do. And it gives a nice brush through all that. We're initiating different objectives to help raise awareness throughout the year, not just in this kind of obligatory financial disclosure form time frame of May. There's a wonderful annual Global Ethics Day that we celebrate in October. Carnegie Council on International Ethics Affairs is a wonderful, wonderful organization. And one day in October, they celebrate ethics across, the country and across the world. It's a nice thing. So I encourage you all to take a peek at that information. We've got a lot of nice information on our website that talks about both personal and professional ethics. So with that, I thank you for the time. This is really wonderful. I wanted to have the opportunity to at least have some personal contact. So, I hope if you have any questions that you reach out.
Thanks, Barbara, and thanks for the work you're doing. It's very important in the public sector in particular.
Thank you.
And it is nice to put a name and a face together on our part as well.
Yes, it is.
You do a great job over there.
Thank you.
I would, a couple concrete hints for fellow trustees. Make a May 1st reminder in your Outlook to make sure you're focusing on this ethics disclosure form. It will avoid that situation where you've changed your email address and now you haven't gotten it, and you just don't want to have an embarrassing situation. And just make sure you're on top of that and looking for that in May. Barbara's great in terms of kind of following up and helping you if you have a question of how to answer a particular question. I use that form as kind of a teaching tool for myself, reading, not just perfunctory filling it out, but carefully thinking about the questions and saying, all right, what are they driving at here? And that's a way to sort of embrace the code without necessarily reading it word for word. So, and then the website, nice to know about the website.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to mention something too, because I really do take what people share with me very, very seriously. I had one member of contact me and essentially say, you know, I never got that initial massive email, okay, that goes out from the chair of the Board of Ethics saying comply and submit your form. But I did get that individual one from you that said you could be in violation.
Right.
So I want people to understand that, you know, we really do appreciate, especially those who are volunteering their time or getting up early in the morning, coming to, you know, boards such as this, or leaving their dinner hour with that second cup of coffee and attending a meeting. The last thing we ever want to do is offend anybody, you know, by saying, hey, you haven't. So if there is a concern, if you ever believe, wait a minute, I never got that went to my junk email, I never saw that, please reach out and let us know. We really will work with you. But we deal with massive amount of people, right? The masses. So we have a lot of people connect to, and so the format, usually the chair elects is to send things out in one large group. So if for any reason something wasn't connected as it should, reach out and let me know, and I'm happy to relay that information to the board and make sure we get down to the bottom of things.
Yeah, thanks, Barbara.
Okay.
Think of recurring May 1st reminder in your own
May
Outlook.
1st,
It's pretty
May
good.
1st, sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Yeah,
All
very
right.
good. Thanks for being with us, Barbara.
Thank you, I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. I
Yep,
have to
yep.
step out.
And we're almost
Happy
done. All we have
holidays,
is Dr.
everyone.
Sagai's report, and a lot of the subjects she will talk about have already been covered, but go right ahead.
Yep. So just a couple visual, just to see the activity that we've
Thanks,
been engaged in. I'm gonna leave the recognition part for Lisa to come up. We were part of the Hall of Fame for the Buffalo Niagara Partnership, so we're part of that, as you can see. We've been continuing our listening session with our cabinet, and then I'll be doing the listening session come spring with the college community as well as outside the college, and that will help our strategic plan carry in terms of some of the feedback that we're getting. We have an open house that we did, and I'm going to have Adam come up and talk a little bit about enrollment in a little bit. Next slide, please. Okay, so a couple of things that we have going. Our auto tech is constantly busy with career fairs and other activities. They're doing some awesome things at the Auto Tech Center. Yesterday we had our graduation for Law Enforcement Academy. About 60 or plus students graduated to help our community. Very exciting about that. Our nursing printing ceremony as well that took place this semester for the December part, and then as you can see, we have students displaying our holiday for culinary. So we love to eat in that. So you can see that. And I'll have Lisa come up and talk about the employee recognition later. But let me have Adam come up just to give the board a little bit of update about our enrollment and retention for this semester. Adam, I know I put you on the spot, but I know you got the data there from me.
We got it.
And I have it too, if we need it.
So we're doing very well. We're actually at 115% above where we were last year at this point in time. We're not quite at the 80%, which we'd like to be for that retention side of it. But right now the enrollment count is at 4,224 students, which is about 69% of goal. So we're doing extremely well, and from that 4,224, 3,500 or so are the continuing students. So we're back up on that incline again versus a decline.
So the focus for us is really on the continue side to ensure that our students are registered before they leave. So we will be working hard to do that. We have some strategy during the break to make sure that we stay engaged with our students. We have about 400 or so projected graduates as well.
Yes, roughly.
So that's another area that we're focusing on to make sure that we highlight students who are completing their program and talk about, as you know, graduation is one of our favorite time. So we will be working and focusing on that so that we always are talking to students about the finishing line and being able to be intentional about that. But you know, our faculty and staff have been great in making sure that our students are registering before they leave. Equally, we will be doing a little bit more focus on the new students who are applying. We have a lot of work to do there as our students are applying. We have, how many do we have who are accepted?
For new students, 273. We have 170 transfer students and approximately 204 students that are returning that
Right.
stopped out.
But how many applied?
Applied, we had around, I want to say 3,000. I don't have that information.
Right.
in
So
hand.
we have a significant number of students that are applying for the college and getting accepted. So that is a good sign, but what we have to work on is to really ensure that we are responding to them in a timely manner. So that is our goal, and that is the effort that we are working with the team to make sure that we're responding. So that is always good to be, as Arda mentioned at her report, the key for our success is making sure that our students are coming to the college and that we've been responsive to them and immediately, and then getting them to the finish line. That is going to be our success in order to make sure that our college is sustainable. So, but we are heading in the right direction as it relates to retention and enrollment.
And Arda, in your financial report, one of the footnotes, you note that the tuition revenue is increased in part because our enrollment, broadly speaking, is about 7% higher than anticipated, which was, you know, a good sign. We've been reporting to the county executive each month about it. He's always interested in enrollment. And it tends to crystallize around this time of year, and we see what happens as we go into the second semester. So as a board, we always keep an eye on that. But generally speaking, you know, setting some of the detail aside, the trend is positive.
That's right, and I want to mention the Reconnect program that was initiated by the governor's office and supported by SUNY has been a huge impact for us. As you know, we have a lot of different programs. Academic Momentum is another initiative that came by way of SUNY to ensure that we're staying and graduating our students. We have 6 metric that we're looking to work on. So there's a lot of things that are happening from SUNY level to ensure that our colleges are focused and we are taking advantage of every opportunity that we're getting from SUNY as well as the governor's office in supporting community colleges.
And that's been a lot. You may have noticed as you drove up to the meeting today on our sign at the corner of Youngs Road here and Main Street was a free community college for adults 25 to 55.
That's right.
That's referring to the governor's new, the state's new program. So we're starting to see signs there too. It's only in 7 or 8 specialized fields. It's not broad quite enough yet for my liking. I'd like to see free community college. But that being said, that is something where we're going to see a nice boost.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Adam.
All right.
So with that, lastly, since we've been celebrating, I think to end it, to end our meeting, I will have Lisa come and talk about something that Lisa and team have been doing work on and continue to.
Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share some of our talent management and employee engagement. Really has been a priority and at the directive of President Sagai over the last year, and very excited with the new contract that it really is solidifying that and expanding our opportunity to continue to invest in our employees. So in December, if we go to the next slide, we had an inaugural recognition roadshow. So in coming into the college, some of the things that we had heard about from an employee engagement perspective was the opportunity to enhance our recognition of the commitment that we have, and we have significant commitment and longevity at the college across all of our employee groups. And we found, and for obvious reasons, that there really hadn't been a significant event since January of 2020. So we can all connect the dots on that. And so we took this opportunity to host open house breakfast at each campus the first week of December before the craziness of the end of the semester. And if we go to the next slide, we have some pictures here. But this was a catch-up year, and so in looking at all of the names on this board, this is all of the employees that we have at the college that have 20 plus years. So some folks were at 22 or 33, but we had missed that opportunity to recognize that. So it's a significant number of people that were recognized. At every campus, we had a really vibrant collection of folks that were there. It was just 2 hours to sit. Culinary made us treats at North and City, and just to sit and have informal conversation, and we had some scrolling recognition going on, but it was very positively received across all 3 campuses, and it was the first time out, so we do have some thoughts and ideas how we can continue to expand that. But I think a fun and warranted event for the commitment that we have from our employees across the college.
So before we go into that, let's go back to the first slide, Bob. Just the number of participants, I think that's important.
Yes.
Of how many of our staff attended that event. Those who are being recognized, but also their peers, and coming and just congratulating them. And then I know we also use technology, so I want you to talk about that, because Lisa was like, you have to say something. So I think having that level of engagement was also important.
So one of the opportunities that we have with technology is we have a kudos board, which we're hoping to get out for all of you to view. But given our 3 locations, we don't, in trying to pull together and really enhance the feeling of one college across the locations, we had a digital opportunity for employees to post recognition and write little messages, and everybody could see that, and we had that scrolling during the ceremonies. So again, an opportunity, well, maybe I don't see you face to face every day, I'm at a different campus. There was an opportunity to call out folks that, again, with that number of folks that have been around for that long of time, have crossed paths at different points of their career. So it is a digital scrolling opportunity, and we want to get that out to you so you can just kind of see all the fun messages that people post and memories that were shared of employees. So again, an opportunity for us to feel as one community across 3 locations.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it was and by the way, it started at 7:30 in the morning, and we had people there at 7:30,
yes, they were.
and
Yes, they
really engaged and participating. So beyond the recognition, I'll just take a couple of minutes to share if we go to that 3rd slide, Bob, thank you. A couple of the other things that we have been investing in our talent over the last year, and some things that are coming up. So we kicked off the fall semester opening day with a real focus on AI as an opportunity to evolve and enhance the work that we're doing at the college, both from a student-focused perspective, but as well as what we're doing from an operational perspective, and we're continuing to focus on building that competency across the college. So we did launch an AI self-paced learning opportunity to all employees through some of our learning management internal systems. So we launched that, and we have some prizes and some things that we'll do with that going into our spring opening day, which the save the date went out to the entire campus community today with our agenda, which is January 14th. So as we're wrapping up fall, already looking to spring. And I did want to highlight, we spent 2025, our theme on professional development was unlocking potential. In January, we transitioned to a new theme, which is innovation with intention. So really thinking about what we did to lay the groundwork around unlocking potential and using that potential now to innovate, but intentionally, right? To make sure that we're aligned with a strategic plan, to make sure that we're looking for those key spots that are gonna have the most impact both for our students and for staff. So we're really excited. We have a couple of keynote speakers that will be coming in, and again, continuing some of these themes around AI and our adult learner into the spring semester. And then the last thing, we've had several conversations over the last 9 months about our employee engagement survey that was completed in March. So this is ongoing work, as we know, but just again as an update, we are continuing to focus on those survey results to inform what we're doing at the campus. And so the most recent activity is based on those results. We had supervisors hold meetings with their staff to talk about the results at the departmental level and to solicit priorities from within their teams, both from a team perspective as well as an individual anonymous survey on how we can prioritize the opportunities that we heard about communication, transparency, some of those things to develop our next steps and action plans. So trying to advance on multiple fronts around our employee engagement and investment in our talent.
Lisa, to speak a little bit about the town hall that we did with employee engagement. So
Oh, sure.
I think that's important.
Great, yes, that's a great point. So one of the things that we did, and again, focusing on that idea of transparency, is Modern Think, which was the vendor that helped facilitate the survey for us. We held 3 separate town halls to allow employees to engage. The first one was for supervisors, anyone that had a supervisory role, that they could come and participate and kind of get some front knowledge about what the results were, how they could help support and talk to their teammates and their teams around those results. And then we held 2 town halls that were open to the entire campus. So anyone could call in, they were virtual, and they were led by that Modern Think, our consultant at Modern Think, to really dive into those results. We've had additional viewing sessions where they weren't live, but we recorded those initial sessions, so trying to make it as available to as many employees as possible to hear the full results. And that was really in preparation for then having the departmental and individual survey conversations.
And this is a huge piece to our strategic plan, and we'll have more report in that how do we focus on our faculty staff in terms of professional development, but also the environment and the climate of the college. That was a big piece for our
the cultural points that Len Lenahan used to talk about. I almost wish Len were here this morning to hear your report. It's really important work that you've initiated and you've implemented beautifully.
Yes.
This is really hitting with us. It's good.
It's exciting work, and again, we have a lot of plans for 2026, and again, the reinforcement coming from the contract to really to continue to build on that.
It really ties together, and I appreciate that the work on the ground that you're doing. It's something, at a granular level, like you've talked about, can really mean a lot in terms of working productively under the new contract.
So thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Dr. Sky, any more?
No.
All right. I don't think we have Dr. Quinn on the line. No. And you've done your report. So any old business that has not been brought forward? Any new? We've covered everything. Next month we will meet on January 29th, and then we have a joint meeting and retreat in February. Just keep that in mind. There's a calendar out there. In the meantime, though, wish everyone just a warm and joyous holiday season with your families, and look forward to seeing you in the new year. We've accomplished a lot in 2025.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
All right.
We're screwed. Yep.
So you're going to